you think you should.
All right. So, like always, still in early access, but still, it's a fantastic game. It doesn't even works fantastically. At least last time I played it. I forgot there's no game sound. Did I change this at one time? I did. Oh, wrong setting. I have game sound now? Yep. All right. I don't know why my character looks like that. Is there a way to change that? I don't remember my character looking like that last time I played. Oh, forgot my camera. See if it still works. Yep. I love the music in this game. It's fantastic. Keeps it upbeat. Alright. Why is my... What? What's wrong with his eyes? That was female? Oh. What is going on? What's with that blur? My game save is not here. Hold on a second now. I thought this game synced. They didn't restart this, did they? Yeah, actually it's over. How do I find cloud save on Epic Games? I'm going to be very upset if that game save is now gone. I have to restart. How? How do I find... How to handle cloud saves conflicts in Epic Games Launcher. You are playing with cloud saves on more than one device through the Epic Game Library. You may enter conflicts. This usually helps them. Okay, but how do I get that? Alright, hold on a second. It's syncing to cloud, but where's my save game? I have 35 hours in this game, and somehow my game save is gone. That's frustrating. Well, I thought I was going to play this. But now it's saved. Let me look up. Maybe they did a wipe or something and everyone had to restart. How long ago? This is 2 years. I was wondering. Do not buy Voidtrain? Why? What's wrong with this person?
It's a game that I've been waiting for years. I've been following the game on and off pretty much since it was first announced. And after what I've seen, I'm going to say do not buy this game. It really feels as though they are just after money. And we're going to talk about all of that in a moment. But we're going to get into the problems first. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to defend them because it's in early access. And I haven't even bought the game. I have played the demo. But after this video is done, I think some of you will change your minds towards this game. And I mean, it doesn't even seem that good of a release anyway into early access because it's sitting in mixed reviews on Steam.
2 months ago, he uploaded this video. Yeah, since you're playing the demo, they probably don't update the demo anymore. And this guy makes sense where he says if you bought the actual game, they probably fixed the problems that he was having. Since the demo is not supposed to give you a full release, even though it's supposed to show you how the game is, and if you like it, to buy the game, you get all the updates, whatever. Though, I mean, it would be nice. I've never played the demo. I would straight out bought it because I play any type of roguelike, randomized and it's like story kind of based games. It's I don't know. Let me listen to this video.
Some of the problems I've seen through the reviews is aggressive head bobbing that actually makes
you can turn it off.
Sick. And all they've said about it is they are going to work on it. And when it comes to problems in this game, there is one big standout one that we'll go through after I've mentioned these other like small things or smaller things. They're not small in any capacity. But some people are also saying the game feels like a looting and researching simulator, and apparently is really tedious.
Like every game, it is. You have to do that. Like if you go Rust, you have to sit there and research, do all the things. Yes, it takes time. That's the whole point of the game. It's like any simulator. Anyone who complains about a simulator, you shouldn't be playing that simulator. You shouldn't complain about it because you shouldn't be playing it. What's the point of complaining if it's this guy doesn't sound like he plays much games, even though his channel is born to game. Doesn't sound like it. If it's not your preference, then why are you telling people not to buy the game? It's your preference of So
and
far, what he
everything
said
like that when
doesn't
you're playing
sound
the early access version and not the demo.
sounds stupid.
And there are
Like so
problems
far,
with
it's just
co-op, or there were, because the developers have been able to fix them quickly. There was basically an issue that caused the whole co-op player inventory to go missing upon leaving the game. And I mean, like, the full inventory, everything your co-op players, like, say you're the host and you've got friends playing with you, all of your friends would have lost everything in their inventory, so they'd have to restart basically from scratch.
Again, 2 months ago he uploaded this. And last time I played, me and my cousin never had a problem. Never had a problem. I mean, every now and then you had little lag spikes, but I mean, every game has lag spikes. I mean, it's just what happens.
Even if you put multiple hours into the game. It's been fixed now, but that was a problem when it comes to early access.
What is with this saying old stuff and then it's been fixed now? Like, oh, really? It's been fixed. Shouldn't complain about it.
And that's a problem within itself. And the last thing I want to mention before going into detail about the reason why I'm actually telling you not to buy.
It's not like I mean, it's a great game, but it's not like I'm trying to defend the developers or anything, but every game has problems. I'm not saying they should release broken games, but it is released as an early access game. If you don't care for early access, then don't touch it, don't look at it, don't even complain about it. It should never exist, right? So people who want to play a demo shouldn't complain about the game or tell other people to not buy the game unless it has, I don't know, it's not your creation. It's hard. I don't know.
Buy it, or putting out the warning saying do not buy this game. And the final thing is,
wait, what did he say?
Buy it. Last thing I want to mention before going into detail about the reason why I'm actually telling you not to buy it, or putting out the warning saying do not buy this game. And the final thing is to invite your friends on Steam. You need to link your Epic Games account or it doesn't work. You can't get your friends into your game on Steam unless you have your Epic Games account linked. So the reason I'm saying do not buy this game is because this game, Voidtrain, should not be early access. They wanted an easy way into Steam and they got it. And they're going to have the added bonus of people defending it because it's in quote-unquote early access. What these developers did, or the publisher, I'm not entirely sure who it was, but there was an announcement for a Steam release years and years ago. Like, I'm talking like 2-3 years ago or something like that. When this game was announced, it was announced that it would be launching into early access on Steam. And shortly before it was supposed to release, they just completely disappeared. They went off Steam altogether. Like, the game was just set to like coming soon or whatever, set to coming.
It's owned, pretty sure, by Epic Games, or at least they bought it. I'm not 100% on that, but I know it released on Epic Games first. And it was coming to Steam from Epic Games. Like most games that are exclusive Epic Games, they eventually release it to Steam. And even if it does come to Steam, it's still attached to Epic Games. There's plenty of games I've played that if you bought it on Steam, it still launches or has to download something for Epic Games to make it run. That's how it works. Doesn't matter if you buy it on Steam. It doesn't mean you're going to download it specifically from Steam. I mean, it's going to be on the library of Steam, but it's still going to use Epic Games server or whatever it does. I'm not sure. I just know it was for Epic Games.
Soon, and all of a sudden it popped up on Epic Games. And this game has been in early access since 2021, the 12th of August to be specific.
I mean, I just said all this. It's on Epic Games. That's where it came to. I mean, it's like, I know he's probably going to say it. Like, it's like a game announced for something, but they can always change their mind. They could always just scrap the game, and like Microsoft does all the time. Like, they announce, or it's rumored that something's being made, and then all of a sudden they scrap the idea. I mean, they could get years into the process and scrap it. But for this, like PlayStation, Sony, well, they have competition on how many games you can buy and have exclusivity over. And I think it's the stupidest thing ever, have exclusivity, because then developers are like sectioned off from having more sales because it's over all platforms instead of just one platform, that you have a lot less sales. Well, I say less. A lot. You're restricted. I mean, I'm getting off point. Voidtrain. I've lost train of thought. Let's keep listening.
And there are videos and stuff on YouTube of people playing this game in its early access form ever since 2021. So it's almost been in early access for 2 years. And looking at the roadmap, yeah, it seems as though this is right at the beginning of early access. So what the fuck have they been doing for the last, say, year and a half?
Just to get back to that, where he says it seems to be right at the beginning of early access, even though he hasn't bought the game or played the full release of, not full release, the full updated game. If you played the demo, you can't say you've played the full game. Now, if you played the full game, like you played all the way through it, all up to whatever updates they had at the time, then I would listen. Like if I could see, like look at the, you know how on Steam you can look at someone's account or their profile and you can see how many hours they put into a game. Now, if I see you put like 30 or even 10 hours into the game, that means you've put effort into playing the game. And then then if you have a review, then that's why Steam reviews, you have to really look at the reviews. And if they only play for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I skip over that review. It doesn't matter if it's bad or good. I just skip over it because it's like someone pulling up Yelp and start like typing up bad reviews because they can. I mean, there's no restriction on reviews at all. Zero. Like they should have a restriction where you have to play the game so many hours before you can put up a review or something, and that would cause I get irritated when I'm listening to someone complain about a game that also talking about the early release. That's why I stopped talking about early release games. I'm trying to word this properly. That's trying to be nice, but it's hard when you start getting frustrated and all that. But oh well. Just keep listening.
Because if you look at the early access FAQ on Epic Games, I'm actually going to pop this up on screen so that you guys can see it. It says what's included in early access. It includes the base or the basic version of the game in a 4-player co-op. Other features include, but are not limited to, train building, narrative story, 4 biomes to explore, more than 30 levels of tech progress, witch islands and arena islands, depots, and many other vistas. What is the current state of this game? The game is currently in beta, and beta is a form of testing that is relatively close to full release. And if it was even a beta for early access, which I don't think they would realistically run, then it also says how long will the game be in early access. The development will last for another year and is planned to be released in 2022. So if the early access was supposed to release in 2022, not entirely sure if they've got that done, but then would you have beta on an early access? I don't think so. You would have a beta that would be like quote unquote early access. Like it would be this same thing pretty much.
So there's a point between beta, at least in the older days, back in games. But nowadays, it's all kind of skewed together. It's all mixed. Where beta and early access, there's no much difference anymore. But beta, like if you get alpha betas and all the other different types of betas, those are the people, like exclusive people play to bug test and go through all the saves, go through all the levels, make sure there's nothing massively broken before they at least release it to the public. That's the difference between an actual beta. Early access is when the game is playable, but still has bugs and things they're working on and all that. If someone, I can't see why people would complain over an early access game. Now, I understand if you put money into it and put a lot of hours into it and there's still a lot of problems or they're not fixing things, then you can complain. And for the 35 hours I put into this game, it's to me, it's a fine game. I mean, there was some weird parts in it, like buggy, but I mean, it's still a playable game. It's still use your time into the game. I mean, it's a game. It's a game, really. I mean, developers put at least, to me, I can think of how people work or jobs, how developers. It's not like people, this company or whatever they are, the Voidtrain developers, they put a lot of time. It's not like a thrown together mobile game that they charge insane amount of money, or not even charge money. It's free, but they have 10,000 ads. It's not like one of those games where they just throw together a cheap nothing game and they make revenue off it from you just trying it out because you have to watch like 10 ads before actually being able to do anything. This irritates me.
Because this is the early access FAQ, and they've said that it's currently in beta. So it's been sold on Epic Games for almost 2 years under early access. And they said they plan to update the game via a milestone system with a roadmap to be presented on the early access release. So if it was a beta to early access, they've been running it for almost 2 years, and they've been charging people money to get their hands on the game and play.
By any chance, I wonder if he's ever going to list out all the games that are in early access that are doing extremely well. And they're probably never going to change it out of early access. Probably costs too much money, and or they'll lose money if they change it out of early access. I mean, I know a lot of games that are still in early access over so many years. And then if like No Man's Sky was in early access for so long and then finally did a full release. I mean, like that one had a rocky start at the beginning, but now it's a fantastic game. But still, I would like, if he's going to say like all this stuff about early access and it shouldn't be in early access and stay as long as it did, even though they did post saying there was going to most likely be in 2022 with full release, but things change. They don't update their whatever he pulled up there. It might have been a screenshot back in the day before if they did update it, most likely. But hey, this is his video. I'm just watching and kind of commenting on it, since it's not like I'm completely protecting Voidtrain.
And then all of a sudden, they must have like lost their exclusivity timer or whatever. They launch it in May of 2023 on Steam, and it's in early access.
See, I do. I mean, I bought it on Epic Games because that's the only place you could play it when it first came to PC on Epic Games. So I bought it on there, and I don't know. People who specifically only buy games on Steam are restricted. Like anything, they're wanting exclusivity to Steam. Even though, I mean, there's plenty of platforms that you'd have to download, and that's the other thing where people don't want to have to download all these other different platforms. Still.
Yes, as though in the last year and a half, there's been zero development progress made on the game. Because the roadmap on Steam is Revision 1, and it's from May 2023. It reflects their current plans. So playing now in this game, you have the prologue and story chapter 1. You have train upgrades up to the diesel era, modular weapons, you can tame pets, there are enemy trains and outposts, puzzle and arena islands, prophecies, which are path modifiers, 10 plus creatures and enemies. Coming next, which is like there's no time frame of when it's actually going to be releasing, improved character faces. So the game's been playable. Obviously, there was a lot of development time before it released.
Game is playable, like you said. That's why it's early release.
In 2021 on Epic Games, but coming next is improved character faces, mini games, new void creatures, combat and AI improvements, interactive.
See, he named off all the things that are out in the game. That itself will take, like, unless you rush through the whole game, you'd still take at least 20 hours to get through everything. I mean, 10 hours maybe. I mean, for me, I only play like 2-3 hours a day, and it took me 35 hours to get up to the point where back in March being able to have everything unlocked. And I mean, I still didn't have all my train decked out of how I wanted it, but still.
Musical instruments, new train upgrades, and story chapter 2. And then coming later, new side quests, the pet social interactions, more creatures and enemies, and story chapter 3, which is the ending. So if that's the case, they're getting money from players on Steam that now have access to it, but they've also got a lot of money from players on Epic Games when it was in early access on there and has been since 2021. So why is it like literally chapter 1 and the prologue, that stage of early access, why is it there in 2023 when it's been playable for nearly 2 years on the Epic Games Store?
So I don't understand what he's complaining about, that it's under early access, or it's not fully released, and instead of considering it being fully released and then doing updates and or DLCs, does he want in DLCs you have to pay more money for? Or I'm not seeing what he's complaining about. Free updates to continue building on the game, even though it's playable, like you said, and it's, I don't know. I don't understand what he's complaining about, other than it's still considered early access, even though.
And then they release it on Steam, and in order to invite your friends, you have to link your Epic Games Store account. And a lot of companies, like, because they ditched Steam quite close to launch and went over to Epic Games.
Because Steam is raping a lot of developers. I mean, it's like Google. They charge like 5, 10. What was that? I know they lowered it, but they were charging in a stupid amount of money, a percentage of any income coming from the app or whatever. Same like Apple. A lot of people are not leaving. A lot of developers are not continuing with Apple since they're charging an insane amount just to use their platform. Even though it gains popularity, if they use their platform, then it would gain. It's just, Epic Games probably a lot cheaper to put their game up instead of having their own specific. You know how back in the day they had every game had their own launcher, and that eventually made things a lot harder on computers. Having like multiple games, tons of, like, if you're a gamer back in 2005, each game had their own launcher. Big games. Now they still had Steam, I think. Pretty sure Steam was out then. Would you rather have a bunch of different launchers or 5 launchers that have a bunch of different games in each launcher? It seems like a stupid complaint, but still.
And I think some of it is because Epic offers you more revenue, like a higher percentage than Steam does when you're selling a game on their platform. But I also think they gave
like I just said,
exclusive deal. So your game is exclusive to our platform for a certain amount of time, a year, 18 months, whatever it may be. And
of course,
they would have had
more money.
Like, basically just this like cash amount. So say it was
still, it's on PC.
$1 million. They had $1 million handed to them by Epic so that Epic could claim that exclusivity right. So I feel as though this game should never have released.
I'm pretty sure he is just stuck on Steam. He's one of those people that only plays games on Steam.
At all in early access on Steam. They should have kept it on Epic Games, went through early access, launched it into its full release, and then decided to launch the game.
So instead, he would want it to fully release in Epic Games and then get transferred over to Steam, so people
in its full release on Steam. And when it's been playable for nearly 2 fucking years on Epic Games, they release it into early access on Steam, and there are inventory problems in co-op, wiping everyone's inventory if they're not the host. When they leave that session, then what development progress have they made from the early access beta they had on the Epic Games Store? I don't think they've been actively developing this game. I don't know about its updates and things like that on Epic Games, but I don't think they've done much work whatsoever. They just released the early access, made a bit of progress or whatever, got it to a certain point on the Epic Games Store, and then just ported it over to Steam as well. So say for an example, you just had the prologue on the Epic Games Store. Through the 18 months or whatever it's been since it launched on Epic, they've just created chapter 1, they've put a pet in and things like that, and they've been really, really slow developing it. Because
I mean, unless he's thinking it's supposed to be a AAA game, things don't move fast. It for sure does not. Like, I started playing Wildlands when it first started in beta. Now it's fully released, but it is from beta, or not beta, early access. I played Wildlands. Fantastic game when it first launched. I first launched into early access. But now when I booted it up, like, what, two years later, it feels like a completely different game. I mean, I don't play it because they changed so much that it's not how it was at all when I first played it. Like instead of keeping it to more of the survival and you have your own like map and it's randomized, it's just weird. It's very weird. It's very different. I would play it still, but it's so different that I don't want to pick it back up to relearn everything, even though I put a lot of hours in that game. But still,
because they haven't really needed to do much development.
Again, I stopped that just to say that he's talking like it's supposed to be like a AAA game and things can be done in months at a time or a year and it'd be finished. If it's 2-3 people development, no, that could take years upon years.
And we're now sitting at what they've got for sale on Steam. It's £22.50 to grab this game with a 10% discount. So there's a £25 early access.
And to me, that's, compared to all these other games, cheap.
Title that has a roadmap with coming next and coming later, which the coming next improved character faces. The game's been playable for nearly 2 years on Epic, and it obviously...
It's funny. His like to view ratio, I guarantee, since they took away the dislike, like you can't see the number, I guarantee that dislike button's been hit a lot. A very good bunch.
It had development time before it launched on Epic, so why has it essentially taken, we'll say, 3 to 4, possibly even 5 years to get to where it is now, to the point where they're going to improve character faces in the future? It's an absolutely bizarre release. It went from 66% with 400 reviews down to 65% with 417. So the more people that play this game, the more negativity is getting towards it, like the negative reviews and stuff. And I'm guessing it's just because people...
All right, awesome. Let me double check them. Let me look at Steam reviews. Takes forever for Steam to pull up. Ever since I've upgraded to the AM5, what do I have? 3900 3D or X3D CPU. It takes forever for things to load. All right, let's see. Voidtrain. All right, right now it's $30 for the base game. Still in early access. All reviews is mixed. Mostly positive. Recent reviews is only 300 something. Let's look at the mixed reviews. So I can see it has 37 hours. Recommends. 8 hours. Not recommends. Slog to play. Compounding tasks to have you make. If it's automated. Okay, I don't really care for this comment because he's complaining about having to do things in a game. You sound like a person that hacks games. Uses auto aim and junk. Another 6.9, 7 hours. I'm bored already. Collecting supplies never easier. I mean, you played it for 7 hours, and I can't see like a time, like a date you played it. So I don't. Oh, post July 3rd, I guess, of this year, and you got bored and 6. Then it's not your game, not your type. See, reviews. So far, looking at the reviews, unlocking new things don't give you satisfaction. Then play a different game that has better unlocking satisfaction. Pointless grind. Every game is a pointless grind if you think it that way. The graphics gorgeous. Yes, of course. None of them are talking about the music. The music is fantastic. What did it say? Something about weapons? I didn't even read all this comment. As soon as I saw that one where it's not automated, really, you just can't do it manually, and that's the whole point of the game. It's like a steampunky game. Super repetitive. Every game is super. That type of genre of a game is super repetitive. It's of course it's going to be repetitive. That's what it is. 5 out of 10. That's just not. Shouldn't be a thumbs down, really. Fun fact: you start on a platform with wheels and slowly move to actual train on one way, the train slowly cuts off. I mean, this guy played 23 hours. And so much potential was squandered. It's repetitive, pointless, and a waste of time. Do not get suckered like I did. Huh. Oh, wait. Did I? Oh, on record. Last 2 weeks. Posted July 13th, 9 o'clock. Doesn't say the year. I assume it's this year, July 13th. Comments are comments are disabled. Yeah, I guarantee you would disable or all of them. All of them like that? Hold on a second, let me. Oh yeah, he manually disabled the comments because he's probably getting roasted as hell. Like he played 23. Supposedly he played 23 hours. From July 13th. That was 4 weeks ago. And let's put no. It's because he didn't explain. It just says this game is garbage. Okay. Okie dokie. That's what you say. It's like this guy. 0.8 of an hour. Boring. Product refunded because Steam refunds it if you don't play more than an hour. But they have a demo. Why didn't you just play the demo? Why would you buy the game? Comments disabled. Every negative reviewer seems to have their comments disabled. What's this one? I didn't disable this. He has 8 reviews. Are all of them bad? Really? You just comment yes? Oh, I'm probably being dumb looking at people's comments. Look, all of them are good reviews, and he just decided to put a not. We found it. People found this helpful? He plays racing games. He plays Call of Duty, and you don't think that's repetitive? This guy's just toxic. Very toxic. Of course, you play non-survival games. It's not your type of game. Don't complain about the game. It's not trash, it's just not to your liking. I mean, this guy had a massive game-breaking bug, and he still gave it a recommendation. Tired of collecting things? Then don't like. What is this? Getting rewards for comments or for a review that is stating how he doesn't like the game. It's not that the game's broken. The one comment I saw that the game was broken for me, I had to restart multiple times because the game was broken. It kept going. I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic comment. Look at that. My advice, just because a game has some negative reviews don't mean actually won't like it. Yeah. This game has serious potential. Of course. Should counter the negative reviews with actual data. Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic. That's a true review. All these other reviews are just pointing out things they don't like about games. Then don't play the game. As is, I don't regret the purchase, and I will play a bit longer, but I can't see this being fun for much longer. Then you shouldn't give it a bad review. You only 4 hours when he posted the view or posted the like. You only played for 4 hours and you're complaining about all this, like, oh, it takes so long. Well, I only have so many hours in the day to play games, and it's all right, I'm getting sidetracked. I was just watching this video.
Enjoy this game. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying that it's just tedious, grabbing your resources and things like that. And not only that, people are talking about game-breaking bugs and just glitch after glitch and stuff. Some people are wanting a neutral review option on Steam. I mean, people have been asking for that for a very, very long time. And apparently, it's not even just inviting your friends.
You see what he just said there? People have been asking Steam for a mutual instead of a like and a dislike be in the middle. A middle button. A middle like button. And he's complaining about this game. But he's complaining about Steam, or people have been asking for that for a long time and Steam hasn't added it. Why? Shouldn't that be like a big concern to him or to whatever? But still, okay.
You, like, having to use the Epic Games like UI or whatever. Someone said that every time you start the game, it opens a browser because it forces you to connect Steam with Epic Launcher. Apparently, the characters look horrible, the lack of resources and the slow building gets boring. The performance is there, though, according to a lot of people. And not only that, I've seen that they are supposedly trying to damage control.
Oh, if anyone's watching, my game save was missing on Voidtrain. I'm just watching this guy's, for some reason, do not buy Voidtrain video. Even though I think most of it's just trash, it's just personal opinion. I don't know why he's telling people to do not buy it when you have to try it to know it. I mean, watch gameplay of it, really.
The way they're going about it, though, the community are not having it. This is the second person I've seen talking about this already. Someone said that some of the developers or the staff have been quite abusive towards other people. And then someone says,
like any and every work environment,
any negative reviews and discussions have been banned from their forums. I saw some in-depth review about the game that was like 10 full pages of explaining why the user didn't like the game.
Again, he didn't like the game. That's a personal opinion. There's no, unless he says there's facts behind it, it's just personal if you don't like the game.
It was then banned in 15 minutes from the forum, and then after they posted about something wrong in the store page in the discussion forum, they were permanently banned from that forum by a Voidtrain developer with the following comment saying they were rude. So if you criticize this game, if you're negative about it in their forums and stuff, they are doing damage control. They are removing that stuff and they are banning you from their forums, which is fucking ridiculous.
If you listen to what he just said, he didn't say he was pointing out flaws in the game. Like, that's one thing developers look at, or they usually do. They look at reviews, or they look at things people say to see if they're able to fix a problem, or they're not going to build a game to your liking. They're building a game to what they want. Now, they might add a few features that certain people might want, or features that eventually be added that people are wanting because they eventually planned on adding it, but it's taking time. Developing takes a long time, unless you're just a genius and able to run through it, like your life's work going through that. But at the same time, I don't think Voidtrain's development team is a massive corporation that they can get things released so fast. So far, they're removing, like what he said, they're removing and banning people that are posting on their forums and whatever. They can do whatever they want. They really can. If it's their forums, they can do what they want. If you join someone's server on Minecraft, and you can get banned for no reason if the owner of the server just bans you. What are you going to do? Nothing. You can't. It's theirs. So it's one of those things. And then you can go on all the server viewers and say, oh, I got banned for blah, blah, blah. He can take down that unless you post it somewhere else that he has no control over. Like YouTube, they have no control over, other than they might be able to copyright claim you since it's their game and you're talking bad about it. So all the people who watch it, they'll get revenue off it. But still, I think it's dumb that people go to forums and complain about a game that you don't like. That it's not like they're explaining things that are bad about the game, even though they say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, and it's just tedious. Well, it's not a game for you if you think it's tedious. If I look at your account and all you play is first-person shooters, and then you grab this and expect to like this game, no. It's a very tedious game. I mean, it's what it's supposed to be. I can't remember the genre this is called, or sandbox game. All sandbox games are very tedious. It takes a long time. Base building it takes time unless you know what to do.
And it adds
to my the rest of this video.
Not to buy this game. They don't deserve any money from Steam players whatsoever, especially because the game's been available for nearly 2 years on Epic, and they've still launched it into a very, very sort of early version of an early access game. They literally have one story chapter with 2 coming in the future. And yeah, I really don't think it's worth wasting your money on this title. No matter how fun the gameplay might be for some people, I really, really do not think it's worth it. So it's definitely a shame, because I was interested in this one, but Voidtrain Digital, the developers and publishers for it, same company, yeah, they seem to have taken we want money, we're not going to put in as much effort as we should have done. And I mean, there's no excuse for it. The game's been available on Epic for almost 2 years, and it's still just the very, very beginning of a...
I mean, if you look... I mean, his comments just make me angry. If you look... Well, there's my stream. If you look at... Oop, not Risk of Rain. You look at Voidtrain. Wait. There we go. If you look at Voidtrain, these are all the people playing or have Voidtrain under the title of what they're playing. Not that many people. It's just irritating that people with pretty good viewer count complain about games and telling people not to buy games. They're pretty much boycotting, having their following boycott a game that's not a massive developer. I mean, it's not like a AAA game development team working on it. So you're screwing them pretty much, even though it's a decent game. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. But sandbox games are made specifically for you to do whatever you want, usually, to what they specifically let you, but still. Any base building, resource finding, it's a very tedious games. It seems like this is the only thing he's complaining about, like just because it's considered early release, early access. But there's a lot of games still under early access, but it's full-fledged games. I mean, how long do you think Fortnite was early release before they full released? I mean, and look how big that is. All right, well, this has been pretty much just a stupid rant on that video. Even though I was looking up how to figure out how to get my old save back, if there is a way, hopefully. Doesn't say they wiped it, so I'll get old. Rather not. Other side is more supposed to. Old saves will not work after this update. Old saves won't be available as they have completely changed the story/quest balance and introduced gameplay mechanics that allowed. Oh, so they did what? What year was this posted? Doesn't say a year. I assume it's this year, May. Oh, they must have wiped, so I have to start fresh. That's not bad. All right. Well, I have to start fresh. All right. I look at the most recent review, see if anyone's. June 25th. Okay, so this person played it. All right, well, it looks like I have to restart. It's not a problem. Do I still have the game running? I do not. Let's get my game started. Temple bone? Oh. They don't have a close shave, and I don't have that type of beard, but that beard. Why are my eyebrows a different length? There we go. Let me just double check one last time. Make sure it did get wiped before I go into this. I heard this game is coming to Steam, and I thought I'd give another play. My issue with my save files from like 7 months ago. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna start over.
Sometimes the spirit of adventure beckons so much it's pointless to resist.
You know what? Actually,
Some people find enough courage to get on a train and head off into outer space.
hold on a second. I'm gonna skip this just because I'm.
In that strange hut, there was nothing. No people, no warmth, only darkness.
I just force close the game. I should make a new stream.